Well, the subject for our discussion today is can a company operate or be successful without the customer perspective?
I think one of the things that really points to the answer being not very successful is really the Walker Index. If you take a look at the companies that are in there, those companies have so far outperformed all the other companies that make up the broad indices. I think that's a pretty strong statement that to be real successful, you need to be leveraging that customer perspective.
It's almost like a company is an organism. It has a way of working. It's almost got some DNA that gets at the essence of why it functions or how it functions. And, my theme has become in observing our best clients that they're the ones who have figured out how to get the voice of the customer into the DNA, into more of the inner workings of what makes that company tick.
I always like the analogy of, back in the colonial days, the shopkeeper who knew every customer and was able to tailor that offering to that customer. But in today's world, it's pretty hard for one person or, even a small group of people to have that kind of customer knowledge. So what we're talking about is taking that concept of personal service and focus on the customer and then transcending that across a large organization with lots and lots of people that need to have that information. I think we see a lot of companies that have, for a long time, been successful because they had a great product differentiation. In today's world, that's harder and harder to achieve, and it's very difficult to sustain.
Everybody starts out business-wise by making some breakthrough with the product.
Right.
Otherwise, you don't have a business, right? That's a big part of the value proposition. But then what happens over time, the competitors change, they catch up, and then the needs change. So if you're not in touch, how many companies do we know of? We think of companies that have been around for a while and the changes they've had to make to keep up. And sometimes they fall by the wayside because they were so caught up in their original ways of doing things, kind of the vintage approach, that they just didn't catch on to the changing winds out there.
Theoretically, you could run without some sort of systematic approach to collecting the information, but the reality is you can't have a sustainable company unless you're serving and providing value to customers. You got to have good customer relationships or you can't have a successful business.